Hello everybody, and welcome to my brief guide on my build for the Gotva Prime. Now this weapon can only be acquired from Barrow Katir. He does have it occasionally when he's up, not every time, and it does cost a considerable amount of resources to get. It costs 675 Orican Ducats and 625,000 credits. Now you can trade this, but only when it's unranked, and you cannot have Formal or the Orican Catalyst installed when you are trading this particular weapon. But I think this is a pretty nice weapon, so let's get into the build. So in the build here, I'm just going to show you real quick. Now I do have the Catalyst installed in this, and I've got 3 Forma in here, but first we've got the unique trait. So after inflicting a status effect, the next shot has a 15% chance to have a critical chance of 300%. So not only is this a status weapon, but this is also a critical weapon. So that being said, in the XLS slot, I do have Rifle Ammo Mutation. You don't really need this XLS slot, honestly. For the options that exist, you don't necessarily need to have anything in it. I mean, obviously you can, just if the empty spawn in the end bothers you and you need to have something there, but it's not necessary. And then in the mods here, I'm going for Viral, which does damage to health and stacks for a short duration. So I have Infected Clip for Toxin. I've also got Malignant Force, which is Toxin and status chance for the rifle. Now, if you are missing any of these gold status mods, they drop from Vor in Orican maps. So the best way to do this is to do Void Survival. Vor usually spawns it after a couple of minutes, and then you can kill him for a chance to get one of the mods. There's one for shotgun, pistol, and rifle. Not sure if there's a melee one. To be honest, I don't use my melee weapons a whole lot. I've also got cryo rounds on here. Now I have the primed one, but if you don't have the primed, you just use your regular one. I also have Vital Sense for critical damage. I have Rhyme Rounds, which is cold and status chance. So you see we're doubling up on the status chance here. I have Serration for damage. I've got Split Chamber for multi-shot. Now, if you have the galvanized version of this, for the galvanized chamber, you would be using that instead. And then in the rifle aptitude, it's status chance for rifle. Again, if you have the galvanized aptitude, you would also be using that instead. But as we all know, I am a filthy casual. I'm very much a slacker, and trying to level up any primed or galvanized mods costs a heck ton of resources. And then in the arcane slot, I do have my primary Merciless, which is on kill, 20% damage for 4 seconds, stacks of 12 times. Now there are better things you can use in this slot if you have them leveled up. I just use this one because I have it leveled the most. However, since we're doing Viral, you could do Primary Frostbite, which is on cold status effect, critical damage and multi-shot for so many seconds, but you really need these leveled up for it to be worth it. Again, same deal here with the Primary Blight for the Toxin, so you could use either of these 2 status ones, and that would be fine. It would probably actually give you a bigger boost, but because my 2 status arcanes are so sad, that's why I'm using my Primary Merciless. But that is the basis of this build. Now you can see here we do have the status chance is pretty significant for Viral. This weapon does have a base puncture status, but we do want a high status chance because we do want to be getting this critical proc here. So my status is almost 84%. So showing you what this looks like in an experiment here, we are just gonna load in our lovely 150 level enemies. We'll load in the Corpus ones. We like the Corpus. So with this weapon, now this is an assault rifle, but you can see we are getting actually some red procs here. So we are getting a lot of critical, just because this is like a status weapon. Now we're not necessarily getting that every time, but it does make me happy to see those nice red numbers from this. Now the only thing I could say, if we weren't double stacking all the status on this, maybe increased like magazine on this might be nice, just because the rate of fire is pretty fast. But you know, I don't mind the reload, and these little happy red crits are really, really, really nice on this weapon. You can see here we did get that quite often. So I think this is a pretty fun weapon. That is all that there is to this build guide, but I am glad I did get this weapon from Barrow because I absolutely love it. So if you are wondering if you should get this weapon, my answer to that is going to be absolutely yes. While the cost on obtaining this is a little bit high, this is a really wonderful status weapon. I mean, like I said, it's status and crit combined. Really powerful, really does pack a punch. Now, if status is not your preferred playstyle, maybe it's not the weapon for you, but I definitely love it, and you should still check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.